I swore I'd never talk about this. I made that promise to myself, to my sister, to the one who saved me, and especially to the thing that let me go. But lately, it's been harder to stay quiet, because sometimes, I think I never really left. Like a part of me is still out there. I don't even know where to begin. Maybe, with the first time I heard about the road. I don't know its name. No one does. But everyone around here knows the stories. You won't see them in the news. You hear them whispered at bar tables, murmured after the third beer, buried deep in old internet forums no one visits anymore. People vanish. Always at night. Cars disappear without a trace. Drivers go out for a ride, and never come back. The only thing all the stories have in common is this one stretch of rural road, winding through a forgotten patch of backcountry, dense forest, perpetual fog, a place GPS can't quite figure out, and a sign, a goddamn sign, the sign no one can remember. My best friend Ryan disappeared 2 years ago. The cops said he probably got lost in the woods, maybe crashed and the body was never found. But I knew Ryan. He was meticulous. He wouldn't have taken that route without telling someone. 3 days before he vanished, he texted me in the middle of the night. I think I saw the sign. It was weird. Gave me chills. But now I can't remember what it said. I didn't reply. Figured it was just another one of his internet rabbit holes. A game. A prank. But after that, I never heard from him again. You know the kind of fear that creeps in slowly, like water seeping through a crack in the wall? It starts as a tiny doubt, barely noticeable, until it stains every surface of your mind. That's how it was. One day you're just living your life. The next, you're obsessed with a forgotten stretch of road in the middle of nowhere. That's how it began for me. I can't explain what pulled me there. Maybe it was guilt. Maybe something was calling me. But on the night of October 13th, at exactly 2:17 a.m., I got in my car and drove to the road. It's not on any map. To get there, you have to follow a specific sequence of dirt paths, then pass through an old gate, usually locked. But that night, it was open. The trees felt like they were pressing in, not just lining the road, watching. The radio cut out. The GPS froze, blank white screen. No signal. No music. No voice. Just the crunch of my tires on dry dirt, and the sound of my own breathing. The fog was thick, like smoke curling around the car. And then, without warning, the road hooked left. A sharp turn that shouldn't have been there. I nearly crashed, and that's when I saw it. The sign. Stuck in the ground at the edge of the bend. Rusted. With letters I couldn't read, no matter how hard I tried. I'm not kidding. I looked right at it. But in my mind, it was like someone had wiped the words away with a dirty rag. Just a gray smudge. And still, it filled me with panic. A deep, primal fear. The kind that doesn't come from logic, but from something buried deep inside your bones. I should have turned back. I should have hit reverse and gotten the hell out of there. But I did what everyone else must have done before me. I kept driving. The road narrowed. The trees grew taller, denser. And the silence became absolute. No crickets. No wind. Not even the rustle of leaves. Nothing. That's when I heard it. 3 knocks. Sure. Slow. Coming from the back of the car. Like someone knocking on the trunk. I checked the rearview mirror. Nothing. But I felt it. Swear to God. I felt it. Someone was back there. I stopped the car. Got out. Opened the trunk. Empty. But when I looked back up the road, it had changed. The curve was gone. So was the sign. Now it was just a straight line, stretching endlessly ahead, wrapped in fog thick as milk. I got back in the car. Tried to start it. Nothing. The battery dead. That's when I noticed my watch had stopped too. It read exactly 2:17 a.m. The same time I'd entered the road. Time didn't follow rules out there. I was trapped. If you're hearing this, maybe there's still time for you. But if you've already seen the sign, I'm sorry. It doesn't let you leave in one piece. After that night, I tried to go back to normal, to pretend it hadn't happened. But something was wrong. My body came back, but my mind didn't. It felt like part of me had stayed behind. Like the road had looked into me and decided to leave a mark. In the days that followed, the dream started. Always the same road, the same fog, but different. There were figures now, silhouettes between the trees, faces watching me, staring. But when I'd wake up, I couldn't remember the details, only the feeling, the dread, the weight on my chest. I started digging again, rereading every account, every video, every obscure blog post about the cursed stretch. That's when I found it. An old forum, nearly abandoned, where a handful of people had described experiences just like mine. One of them wrote, "I saw the sign. It saw me back. Now, I hear things when I'm alone." Another said, "The sign doesn't show words. It shows intentions." But the comment that chilled me the most was this one: "If you made it to the sign, you didn't get there alone." That's when I decided to go back. Yeah, I know, it sounds insane, but sometimes, the only way out of a nightmare is deeper through it. I brought a camera, an audio recorder, food, flashlights, 2 power banks, and a notebook to write everything down in case my memory failed like Ryan's did. I left at dusk, taking the same path, but this time, everything felt darker, as if the sky had closed just for me. Along the way, I stopped at an old gas station. There was a woman behind the counter, skin like dried leather, eyes sunken far too deep to be healthy. "I'm heading up the mountain road," I said casually. She froze, didn't blink. Then, as if she were sharing an ancient secret, she whispered, "If you reach the sign, don't look." "What?" I asked. She stepped closer. She smelled like melted candles and dust. "Don't try to understand it. Don't read it. Don't stop. Don't see. Just keep driving." "What's out there?" She didn't answer. She just smiled. But it wasn't kind. It was the kind of smile that hides sorrow. Or madness. Maybe both. I got back in the car and kept going. The road looked the same, but it wasn't. It's hard to explain. The curve was there, just like before. But this time I was ready. I slowed down, looked to the side, and there it was. The sign. Just like the first time. Rusted. Tilted. Almost part of the forest now. But something had changed. I knew it was trying to show me something. Even without words. Even without symbols. It was a presence. A silent whisper crawling through my thoughts. I got out of the car. Camera rolling. Recorder on. I tried pointing the lens at the sign, but the screen went black. Checked the battery full. But the camera just wouldn't record. Every time I aimed a device at the sign, it shut down. Like the very idea of documenting it was forbidden. Then I felt it. A heat rising up the back of my neck. A pressure building behind my eyes. Like something was forcing me to look. So I turned my head, shut my eyes, and kept walking. The sign faded behind me, but the feeling didn't. I walked for a few more yards. The road felt endless, choked in darkness, silent. The air, thick as sludge. The trees looked the same over and over again, like the same patch of forest on a loop. That's when I heard it. Keys. The metallic jingle of keys, coming from up ahead. I froze, raised my flashlight. Nothing. But then, deep in the fog, I saw a silhouette. Someone standing still, motionless. They looked like they were wearing a long coat, head tilted slightly to the side. I shouted, "Hey, are you okay?" No response. No movement. But somehow, they were closer. I didn't see them walk, didn't see them move. But in the blink of an eye, they were nearer. I stepped back. The air turned colder. I caught the scent of wet earth, and something else. Blood. The figure raised an arm and pointed behind me. I spun around. Nothing. But when I turned back, they were gone. I bolted for the car, slammed the door shut, locked everything. My breathing was wild, my heart pounding. That's when I noticed my notebook was gone. The one I kept in the passenger seat vanished. I checked my phone. Every recording corrupted. Video files deleted. But what truly froze me was the sound coming from the back seat. Keys. The same keys. The same sound. Slowly I turned around. No one was there. But on the seat was my notebook, open to the last page, and written in my own handwriting. Something I didn't remember writing. "You've seen the sign. Now, it sees you." I should have left. But how do you run from something that's already inside you? After that night, things changed. Not just inside me, but around me. I started noticing glitches, little lapses. Clocks would freeze for minutes, then jump forward. Lights flickered when I walked by. Strangers stared at me, like they recognized me from somewhere. One night, I went to bed at 11:45 p.m., closed my eyes for what felt like a few minutes. When I opened them, it was 5:42. But the sunlight didn't make sense. It was like time had moved forward, without passing. That's when I realized. Every time I thought about the road, spoke about it, time around me started to break. So I decided to go back. Not out of curiosity, but out of desperation. Or maybe, surrender. Maybe I was just accepting what had already become inevitable. I got in the car. Alone. Told no one. I brought only a flashlight, a bottle of water, and my notebook, now sealed shut with duct tape. Something told me. It was being used against me. Halfway there, the radio turned on by itself. A faint static. And beneath it, my voice. You've seen the sign. Now, it sees you. I slammed the brakes. Cut the radio. But the voice didn't stop. It wasn't coming from the speakers. It was inside my head. I tried to breathe, slow, steady. Forced myself to keep driving. The road stretched out like a tunnel of twisted trees, arching overhead like crooked ribs. Then it happened. The car died. No warning. Dashboard went black. Engine stalled. Steering wheel locked. Darkness. And the forest felt alive. I stepped out. Nothing. No sounds. No wind. No crickets. Just silence. The kind of silence that hurts your ears. Then, a light blinked between the trees. Faint. Glow. Like the glow of a phone screen. I moved closer. The light vanished. But another appeared. Just a little farther in. And then, I heard the first voice. Hey, can you hear me? It was my sister's voice. Frozen, I took another step forward. The light blinked again. And there, between the trees, just for a moment, I saw her. But it wasn't her. The face was wrong. Like a distorted photograph. The mouth far too wide. The eyes, deep black voids. And then, she smiled. With every single tooth. I turned and ran. But the road was gone. Only trees behind me. Endless. Identical. That's when it hit me. The road hadn't just led me here. It had swallowed me. I pulled out my phone. No signal. Dead battery. My watch. Frozen at 2:17 a.m. Again. I started walking. The forest seemed to bend with every step. Branches leaning in. Shadows shifting without any source of light. And always, in the corner of my eye, I thought someone was right behind me. That's when I saw it. A rearview mirror. Alone. Hanging from a branch. I stepped closer. Without thinking. And when I looked into it, I saw myself. Sitting in the car. Smiling. But it wasn't a normal smile. It was wide. Stretched. Fixed in place like a mask. The eyes were empty. Like my soul had been ripped out. And all that remained was a copy. I blinked. The reflection was gone. Suddenly the forest opened up. A clearing. And in the center, a cabin. Rotting wood. Crooked walls. No windows. Just a single door, slightly ajar. I hesitated. Then I heard it. That sound. From inside. 3 knocks. Slow. Hollow. Human. The same sound I'd heard that first night. I wanted to run. But my legs moved on their own. Like the ground beneath me was dragging me forward. The door creaked fully open. With a sharp, splintered groan. Inside. Nothing but darkness. But a voice came from within. You came back, sooner than I expected. I knew the voice was mine. The darkness inside that cabin wasn't just the absence of light. It was alive. Moving. Breathing. Watching. As my eyes finally adjusted, I saw it. The walls were covered in electrical tape. Holes patched with yellowed newspapers. And the smell. Damp. Mold. Sweat. And something else. Rotting. The voice that had called me, my voice, was gone. But we weren't alone. In the back of the cabin, sitting hunched over an old tape recorder, was a man, curled in on himself, bearded, eyes sunken, skin pale and gray. He didn't seem to notice me, but he was speaking, as if continuing a conversation from long ago. March 17th, male voice, urban accent, entered from the north curve, saw the sign, stopped the car. Time froze. He's listening now. He's listening. His hands were shaking, but the recorder was live. The red light glowing. I tried to speak. He looked up. His eyes were glassy, bloodshot, but there was clarity there. Pain. And something worse. Acceptance. Did you sit in the driver's seat? He asked. Or the passengers? What are you talking about? Do you remember which side you entered from? If it was the wrong side, you might already be dead. I said nothing. He stood slowly, moved to a makeshift shelf. Hundreds of cassette tapes, each numbered in red ink. Labels scrawled with words like whispers, imitations, loops, false exit. What is this place? I asked. He let out a dry laugh. No humor in it. This is where you end up. When the road's still deciding what to do with you. Then he pointed to the walls. A recording. If you're lucky, it ends in silence. If not, it keeps going. Forever. How long have you been here? I asked. He looked up at the ceiling, thought for a moment, took a long, shaky breath. I got here in 1991, he said. I was on my way to visit my mother. Took a shortcut through the mountains. I saw the sign. Don't remember what it said, but I saw myself in it. His voice cracked. His face looked worn. Not just by time, but by the road. Since then I've been recording, he whispered, to remember who I am. Because sometimes, it tries to erase you. It. I asked. The road, he said. It's not just a place. It's a thing. A presence. A mind. It hears what you think. Wears your memories. Makes copies of you. And when you try to leave, it replaces you with one of them. He pointed to the far corner of the cabin. There, sitting perfectly still, was a figure, wearing the exact same clothes I was. Head bowed. Face blank. No features. Just smooth, skin-like emptiness. That one showed up 3 nights ago, he said. It was crying. But it didn't have a mouth. I swallowed hard. How do I get out of here? I asked. He stepped closer, placed a cassette in my hand. The label was written in shaky, fading handwriting. You, final chapter. You can still leave, as long as you don't listen to this. Why? I asked. Because once you hear it, she finishes learning who you are. And if she knows, she can become you. My heart started pounding. Outside, footsteps, slow, heavy. He ran to the door, sliding a rusted iron bar across it. Did you bring anything from outside? He asked. Just my notebook. His face went pale. Where is it? In the car. He stared at me horrified. Then she's already read everything about you. The doorknob turned. Once, twice, then 3 knocks. Heavy, measured. The old man covered his ears. Don't listen. Don't listen. But it was too late. From the other side of the door, a voice, identical to mine, spoke softly. Open up. It's okay now. I got out. I'm you. The man grabbed my shoulders, eyes wide with fear. Listen. Listen carefully. She gets in. Don't look her in the eyes. If you look, it means she's won. The cabin lights began to flicker, and from the ceiling, something dark started to drip. Thick, slow, as if the road itself was leaking in. The recorder clicked. A tape began to spin on its own. Then, a laugh. Quiet. Distorted. My laugh. But it wasn't me. There was something wrong with it. A subtle flaw. Like someone trying to imitate my voice, my tone, my rhythm. And missing something small. So small only someone who'd once been human would notice. The man slapped the recorder off. The silence hit like a punch. Outside, the footsteps had stopped. But the pressure, the feeling of being watched, was unbearable. She's testing you, the man said quietly. She wants to know if you've already broken. Who is she? I asked, my voice barely a whisper. He stared at me, for a few seconds too long. The sign, the road, the cabin. They're not different things. They're all the same thing. He paused. A single consciousness. She doesn't think like we do. She reads us. But why the sign? I asked. Why doesn't anyone remember what it says? For the first time. He laughed. A real laugh, but cold. Because there never was a sign. The words hit like a gut punch. What do you mean? What you saw. That was just the intersection. The moment she touches you. She doesn't show the same thing to everyone. It's a projection. A word, a symbol, a phrase. Something only you would understand. But your mind erases it, right after. It's a pact you don't even remember making. I felt sick. And what does she want? I asked. He paused. Then slowly, the road doesn't want to kill you. It wants to live through you. Everyone who crosses it becomes a door. And every door, a new way out for her to spread. He walked over to the shelf, grabbed a tape, dusty, almost falling apart from age, slid it into the recorder. This one was from a trucker. 2007. He looked at me. He was lost for 11 days. Listen. The tape spun. At first just shallow breathing. Then, a faint voice. I heard my wife, in the woods. But she died in 2002. She was crying. Calling me by the nickname only she used. When I got close, I saw it was me. Crying. I saw my own body. And that's when I knew. I was the copy. The road showed me. And that's what killed me. Click. The man paused the tape. Most don't realize, he whispered. They think they made it out. Go back to their lives. But they're just echoes. Simulations. Shells. He looked straight at me, eyes sunken, tired. You still have a choice. What choice? I asked. He pointed toward my notebook. It was now on the floor. Open. A new page. With a single line, scrawled in shaky handwriting. To leave, you must forget who came in. He nodded slowly. If you remember who you were, she won't let you leave. But if you forget, maybe, just maybe, she'll let you slip through. I said nothing. Just stood there, listening. Outside, the footsteps returned. But now, they weren't alone. Other sounds crept in. Cries, laughter, whispers, in children's voices. Voices calling in languages I didn't recognize. From the other side of the door, multiple versions of me. Open up. I'm you. Open, you already let me in once. Open, and you'll never have to be afraid again. The man pulled out a rusty knife from the drawer. There's gonna be a moment, he said, when you'll think you made it out. But if someone calls you by your full name, and you remember who you are, she comes back. The door shook, hinges groaning, the wood pulsing like something alive. He locked eyes with me. Do you want to leave? I nodded, trembling. He leaned close and whispered, then forget. Forget everything. Don't write it down. Don't record it. Don't even think about it. The lights went out. The floor shook, and the world shattered into black fragments. I woke up, in the driver's seat, on the side of an empty road. The sun was rising. Clear sky. Birdsong. I glanced at the seat beside me. The notebook was gone. Everything looked normal. But I couldn't remember why I was there. My name? It took a few seconds to come back. But it did. I turned the key. The engine started. The radio played some random song. I smiled. But when I looked in the rearview mirror, I saw something on the back seat. A cassette tape. And on it, written in red ink, You, final chapter. Ever since I came back from that road, nothing has color. Not metaphorically. Literally. The sky is less blue. The grass less green. People's faces blurry like faded paintings. But everyone smiles. Everyone says I'm fine. That nothing happened. That I never even left home that night. And for a while, I almost believed it. The tape, the one with my name, vanished. I thought about throwing it away. But when I got back to the car the next day, it was gone. In its place there was a note, written in shaky, childlike handwriting. You're the only one who still remembers. At first I tried to ignore it. Did everything I could to go back to my routine. Or the gym. Auto replies like, all good, in the family group chat. But then, the pattern started. Every time I look in the mirror, my reflection smiles just a split second before I do. Every time I answer the phone, the voice on the other end repeats my words before I even speak. And then came the strangest part. One night I got a voice message. No number. No ID. Just a voice that said, You came back from the wrong side. What got out wasn't you. My heart stopped for a second. I tried to remember what the man in the cabin had told me. If you leave through the wrong side of the car, you might already be dead. But the dead don't feel like this. I still feel the pain, the confusion, the memory of something I was never supposed to remember. Or maybe I don't feel. Maybe all of this is just residue. I started noticing things. My neighbors, they never blink. The cashier at the grocery store says the exact same thing, in the exact same tone, every single day. Did you find everything you were looking for? Yes, I did. But I shouldn't have. The other day I tried talking to my sister. Tried to tell her everything. She looked at me like I was a stranger. Are you Gabriel's brother? She asked, frowning. I'm Gabriel, I said. But she backed away. My brother died 2 years ago. Vanished on some road. They never found the body. She slammed the door in my face. I just stood there, frozen, trying to understand. And then, I heard it. 3 knocks. On the wood. Right behind me. I turned around. No one. But on the ground, a sign. Rusty. Just like the one on the road. But this time, I could read it. You never left. I dropped to my knees, eyes locked on the words. The letters were shaking. Or maybe it was just my mind. Everything around me fell silent. No cars. No birds. No wind. Just a voice. Inside my head. Now you know. Now, you're an entrance. I ran. But it didn't matter. I made it home. Locked every door. Shut every window. Tried to sleep. But when I opened my eyes, I was back in the car. Driver's seat. Same spot on the road. Engine off. And the clock? Frozen at 2:17 a.m. The cycle had restarted. But this time there was something new on the dashboard. A yellow post-it, stuck to the steering wheel. Handwriting shaky, like the person who wrote it was about to shatter. If you find this recording, know that I tried to warn you. And now, you know what comes next. The curve, the sign, the knocks, the whispers. You listen all the way through. And the road listened to you. Now, it wants to learn your paths. If you want more stories like this, subscribe, but at your own risk. And write in the comments. I saw the sign. If you made it to the end.